Hey YouTube peeps, William the Real Deal here, and welcome to another episode of Will's Game Corner. As always, I'm your host, William the Real Deal. Now in this edition of Will's Game Corner, I'm going to be reviewing the game Alan Wake. Now, what is Alan Wake? Well, basically, Alan Wake firstly was made by Remedy and was also, I think, published by Microsoft. So this is only a Xbox 360 game, so it's only made for the Xbox 360 personally. So for those of you Sony fans out there, I apologize, but this is never coming out for any PlayStations. But basically, Alan Wake is pretty much a psychological horror / thriller game. To where you play as a writer named Alan Wake, obviously. So, but basically, how the story goes within this game is that you, Alan Wake, had unfortunately came to what is known as writer's block, which is basically, in terms of a writer, is to where a writer cannot come up with anything. To make a new book or something like that, just can't figure out what to write or something like that in general. I don't know exactly what the correct definition of it is, but it's basically around that general area of basically what I'm discussing about. But basically, Alan Wake is suffering from two-year writer's block. So him and his wife Alice are taking a vacation to a place called Bright Falls, and so that way Alan Wake can take it easy on himself to just relax, and then later thus come back from vacation to then write more stuff. But however, his wife has other plans for him, and that is to try to cure and help Alan Wake with his writer's block by going to a doctor called Dr. Hartman within the game, and the doctor provides Alice with a typewriter. So Alice later then gives or tries to give Alan Wake the typewriter as kind of like a gift after they get settled within their cabin, everything like that. But however, later, after Wake seeing the typewriter, he gets mad and aggravated and storms out of the cabin. And tries to calm down afterwards. But then later on, his wife suddenly screams, and Alan comes rushing in, and then, well, basically, I'm not going to say anything to that point, but I will say that Wake's wife goes missing, and it's your job to play as Alan Wake to find your wife and basically get out of Bright Falls. Now, why get out of Bright Falls? Well, I'll tell you here in a little bit, but basically throughout the journey, pretty much you'll have to go through some dark, mysterious places. You have to go into the woods and explore to discover clues and get to the safety from one destination to the other, trying to figure out where you're supposed to go. However, things turn basically into a nightmare, pretty much, I will say, because you, Alan Wake, have to go through creatures in the night that is known as the Taken. Now, basically, what the Taken is kind of like shadowy, figures that form in the shape of human beings, that that you'll later see at, like, in terms of like the characters. They form into these beings that you have met, and which, however, is the actual person that these beings are. But however, I can't really say like how it works in terms once you kill the Taken. Either whoever was controlled by this type of darkness either dies, or is just non-existent no more, and just doesn't exist in general. So once the Taken is gone, then so is the person, and then they go poof away somewhere. However, in order to defeat said Taken, you'll need two things. So, one, you need obviously a weapon to kill it with, such as a gun, melee weapon of sorts. I don't think there is melee weapons within the game, so you'll have to settle with a gun. So the second weapon, which is the main weapon that you need, and well, I'm not going to say anything right now. I'll just give you guys some guesses, allow you guys to guess or whatever. So take the time. I'll wait here. Oh, what? You guessed? Oh. Well, if you said a flashlight, then you were right. So, yes. So you have to have a flashlight as your main and key weapon for survival against these enemies. And it's not only just these particular enemies. There's also poltergeist-like objects that will float around and try to attack you by tossing themselves against you. Basically trying to hurt and kill you. So, and then also there is ravens. Now, these aren't your ordinary ravens, as in the birds, but these are shadow creature like ravens. I mean, they still have the same form and shape of a regular raven, but however, these guys, they don't mess around. Okay, they like to swarm in packs, and the only two basic logical ways to kill these guys is either have a flashbang and or a flare gun. However, you can kill these enemies with a flashlight, but it's a lot difficult unless if you're really skilled at aiming. So that's it. I'd highly, if you play this game, and if you play this game, if you have difficulty, trying to kill ravens, well, just remember what Real Deal told you. Use a flashbang, use a flare gun, use that flashlight. You're going to get it stuck up your bum, something like that. I don't know. I'm not good at these things. Shut up. But anyways, so just in general, throughout the journey, you have to go through basically a nightmarish land of freaking darkness and suckiness and all that stuff, and then you have to afterwards basically play detective, trying to figure out what in the world is going on, and basically where you are, and how can you find your wife and everything like that. And then afterwards, at the end of it all, I will say this, is that you have to go through a final battle against a particular enemy. Not just a particular enemy, but you also have to fight swarms of Taken. So it is quite a slightly difficult boss battle to conquer and beat. But however, if you can basically figure out the strategy to everything, then you can sure enough you can beat this game pretty easy. But however, this game is quite challenging. Not in terms of like challenging like, if it was like maybe playing Call of Duty on like its hardest difficulty, or like just playing a shoot 'em up game like in a very hard difficulty or something like that. But in the forms of difficulty, like you have to think with your mind instead of going 360 no scopes and all that hunky-dory stuff. This isn't Call of Duty. This is Alan Wake. Alan Wake is a psychological horror game to where you have to think strategy and use your ammo and your batteries wisely, because you do have ammo and batteries, and if you run out of those two things, you're done for. You're screwed. It's game over, man, because those are the two main things that you need in order to survive against these enemies known as the Taken, Ravens, poltergeist-like objects, all of that. So if you don't have any of those items, if you run out, game over, man. So, but however, this game has like, kind of like the features of like how you would play basically like Silent Hill or maybe Resident Evil. It's basically kind of like those, but not really necessarily. But in terms of like how it feels, like how you play it, it kind of feels like that you're playing like a type of game like Silent Hill or Resident Evil or whatever, and basically trying to scope out enemies and then make sure you basically pretty much survive and try to beat the game without getting yourself killed. Except this is a lot eerie, a lot creepy in comparison to Silent Hill as well as Resident Evil. This takes like a the dark eerie turn like of like a mystery book or something like that, or somewhere amongst those lines. Instead of taking the form of like the utter terrifyingness of nightmarish hell that is Silent Hill, or fighting against zombies, demon dogs, and all that from Resident Evil and all that. So this is taking its own different turn for those particular types of games. I mean, forgive me if I'm like trying to not, if I don't make any sense to some things here and there, but I'm trying my best to basically describe basically how this game is like related to maybe other games, like in terms of like how it plays as and its features, but however, just like a main key is that you have like all these things that you can easily run out of, and basically if you do, you're going to die if you don't find any soon. So but however, as for in terms of like how they give you like how the placements for the ammo and all that, like in order, like just in case if you run out, there's going to be ammo like nearby you somewhere. So the placements for trying to find items are I would say pretty decent, and are really good placements for to make it. They're to where they're not like excessively easy, but they're to the point to where that if you really want to get more ammo and get more like batteries and stuff like that, so you can survive and continue onward, you have to venture around the areas. You have to basically try to make sure that you know where you are, for one, because this game does take place in quite basically some of the levels do involve like walking in around the woods, so you can easily get lost if you don't stay on the path. But in terms of if you want to find something, there will be like certain points to where there will be areas that you would think there will be some ammo, some batteries, whatever else that you might be able to gather, stuff like that, etc. So yeah, so it's not very difficult at all for in terms of like getting your more of said items or whatever. So and then as for because there is a sprint system and a health system for health. I'm not sure exactly like what you can use for. I think there are med kits within the game, so so you can collect med kits. And then as for your sprint system, I think there is a particular item for that as well, but I cannot remember. It has been. I will say it has been a long time since I last played Alan Wake because of particular reasons I will discuss later on. But however, in terms of the sprint system, you can easily run out of sprint if you're somebody that likes to constantly run and stream like a little big bubble blown baby within video games. So one wise choice is to use your stamina system wisely, because if you run out of stamina, game over, man. So your big three keys that you need is that you need batteries for your flashlight, you need ammo for your guns, and you need to keep that sprint bar at a high. So that way, that just in case if you run out of ammo, then you can run. But however, what you want to do is to save up your sprint system, and whenever an enemy comes by you, stick around, dodge them, and basically bob and wave, and basically make a strategy out of your fighting systems to dodge and then aim with the flashlight, and then once their darkness is gone, just shoot them, because you can't shoot them right off the bat. I should have said that beforehand, but you cannot shoot them off the bat. That's why you need the flashlight, because you need to aim the flashlight at your enemies, at whatever is attacking you, and they're because they're protected with darkness. And if you can clear that darkness, then you're able to shoot them. But if you don't, then they're basically invincible. So you can't do diddly crap about that. So however, you can use what items that to your best advantages. Like I said, there is flashbangs, there is flare gun, there is there's upgrades for flashlights. So there's flashlights that will take away the darkness a lot quicker, or there's flashlights that can pretty much consume less battery, and all that stuff. So yes, for as of anything else, I can't really say too much, because once again, I have not played this game in a long time. I didn't look up much about what this game holds for, but I do know of the story, which I told you guys earlier within this video, and basically how its combat system works, and why you need these specific items. But however, this game, whenever you're playing it, it kind of feels like, because they put it into this type of, because the creators of the game put it that way, they made it to where it feels like that you're watching kind of like a TV show. It kind of feels like how you would see like the opening scenes of like maybe Walking Dead or Lost or something like that, because like at the end of each chapter, it'll play like say next time on Alan Wake or something like that, and then afterwards it'll play like music. It'll look like if it was like credits or something like that, and then afterwards, once the next chapter hits, it'll say like previously on Alan Wake or something like that. Like how those types of TV shows go, which I think is pretty neat. I'm not sure like if any other game has did that before, but I will say that it has some originality to something like that. As far as I know of, I don't know if any other games had did something like that before. However, as in terms of like how that goes, the story itself acts as if you're reading a book, because it's being throughout the game, it's being narrated at key points by your character Alan Wake. Because, however, I will say this much as a spoiler, because I don't want to spoil anything about this game all that much, is that this game itself is a book, pretty much, turned virtual, kind of, something like that. So this is the story itself is basically Alan Wake trapped in his own mind, of basically putting himself into a story that he created. So it's kind of like some form of Inception. I'm not too sure like what kind of Inception, but somewhere amongst those lines. So with all that said, this is a great game. I'd highly recommend it to anybody. And I mean, for its time, would I recommend purchasing it if it was brand new? Hell yeah. I mean, including like the DLC for it, because it does have downloadable content for continue onward with the story. I would definitely recommend playing the content, but only once you beat the game, because there is important key features that about the story within the DLC that you need to know about or whatever. That if you play the DLC first, then it's not going to make any sense in comparison to the original story for the game itself. So I don't know what I said at the beginning there, but yeah. So but yeah, I definitely recommend playing this for to anybody out there. Yeah. So, and if I were to rate this, I would definitely even whenever it first came out, I would easily rate this a 10. But for its age now, I would probably have to lower the rating. But however, I'd still highly rate it as probably a 9.6 out of 10. I mean, I might go lower, but however, for in terms of me playing this, I find it really enjoyable. It's not too difficult, and like I said previously that it's been a long time since I've last played this, is because I've beaten the game probably like about 3 times. I've gotten all the achievements that was achievable within this game, including the DLC achievements. And I've collected everything within the game, so there was really no purpose in me continuing with this game. But however, which I wish I could play this like beforehand before I did this. But however, I wanted to go ahead and try to review this as best I can. And once again, forgive me if I kind of like didn't know a couple things here and there, but however, I do get basically the gist of the game itself, for what I can remember of it anyways, and everything like that. So yes, so once again, highly recommend anybody to play this. And as for my rating, I would rate it 9.6. So yeah. So with all that said, thank you guys for watching. And if you did enjoy this video, be sure to get that like button and click. If you guys are new to the channel, just finding my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more things coming in the future for this channel. If you guys are willing to do so, please spread or order around about this channel, your friends, family, and person on the street. That helps this channel a lot. And finally, if you guys have any questions, as always, feel free to ask me and contact me at my email is TrueWRealDeal@gmail.com. There'll be a list in the description box down below. And this will include this episode of Will's Game Corner. Stay tuned for the next one. And as always, to conclude this, I'm William the Real Deal. This is Real Entertainment, and I will see you, peace and only people, next time. Peace out.